Here's a little project for me. When I bought the lathe and the milling machine, this came with it. This had to be on the mill at one time. It's been used. It's probably been used on a drill press because of all the little puck marks here. It's been hit maybe, I don't know, 200 times. It's got a little brass nameplate here. You can barely read it. It's kind of unique because you can lift this little back part and position it anywhere you want, and then tighten it up with this screw, which you know, I can tell this has been rethreaded. The screw's on a bit of an angle. I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of angles down a little bit, and it's hitting right here. You can see the marks there. So what I like to do is refurbish what I can of this, and it's probably still usable for something. I want to use it for the drill press. So I'm going to grind this burr off, take this bolt out, and then go about figuring out how to so it won't come out, won't back out anymore. Grind this down a little more so it's got a little more travel, and maybe put some sort of handle on, maybe come out a little further here and drill a hole, little cross hole, so I can actually put a handle in there and tighten it down without going to get a wrench. So yeah, then wire brush the whole thing and polish it up a little bit and give it a little slap of paint. It would look nice. So that's one of my ongoing projects. It's still kind of usable. It looks worse than it actually is. It's too bad for all these marks right here. If it didn't have that, it would be in decent shape. And you know, I'll maybe buy a set of parallels. And this thing tilts around. It shouldn't tilt like that. It shouldn't rock that much. So I'll have to look at that too. Maybe loosen off this bolt. And oh, there we go. Comes right off. Try and figure out why that's doing that. This is in good shape. So a T-bolt, you know. Now maybe there's nothing wrong with that. It needs to get good cleaning in there. There's full of junk in there. So let's get started. First we'll extract this bolt first, and we'll either make a new bolt or see if we can compare this one a little bit. And then yeah, you see right there, it's been through a lot, this little device. Someone's welded that shut. So there was probably a hole in there and a set screw. This was, you know, I got some ideas. Maybe we'll machine this down a little bit, drill a hole in there, put a little shoulder on there, put a little set screw here. Maybe there already is a set screw somewhere here. Maybe we'll find it. And so that won't pull out anymore. I got some ideas. Fix it up so it's usable and nicer looking. And as far as this goes, I don't think I can do anything with this stuff, but we'll just call that adding character. But so let's get started. I think I've shown these before, these files. We've got two sizes of threads per side, and this is standard 28, 32, all the different size threads, 20 threads per inch, and you've got 9. This is metric. They're made by General. And in this situation here, just have to match up the threads. There's no other way to get in there to try and, I don't want to damage the thread inside the vise when I'm backing that out, so I want to kind of file it so that it'll pass through there without doing any damage. So I just got to match up. I hope I have the right one here. It looks like, yeah, that's it. So it's 10 threads per inch, and That seems like a hardened bolt. It's not biting that file. So I think I'll go back to the grinder and I'll keep grinding. So I ground a little more. I'm at the point now where I think it'll come out without damaging the vise threads. But no, it's pretty hard to turn in there. I think I'll go grind a bit more. It's just not coming through very nicely. Yeah, I can kind of see where I gotta take off more. Won't focus. Okay, so I'll go do some more. Okay, I think I got it going through there now. So first step, it's coming out. I don't know if I can machine this, if it's hard. So I think I can make a new mild steel. So someone's rethreaded that hole. It probably used to be much smaller. Now that's not Acme thread, it's just 60-degree standard SAE thread. And I haven't measured the diameter, but I'm guessing it's 5/8. It's definitely bigger than 1/2 inch. It probably originally was 1/2 inch or maybe even smaller. So I have a ton of this threaded rod here. I just found 2 pieces about 24 inches each, and I still haven't measured it, but I'm guessing it's 5/8. But I've matched it up. So maybe we'll put that in the lathe. And you see, I don't have my 4-jaw chuck yet. So if I were to do this, I'd have to do it on a drill press here. I could bring that to my shop. On my 4-jaw, I can drill into that. And then we just have to put a little, little cut. Let me draw a little diagram. So here's a crude little drawing. So this would be the threaded rod, this piece. While I took a little break there for a minute or two, I did some thinking, and I drew a little diagram. This is what I was thinking of doing, is drilling a hole through the back of this and then machine down the end of this with a little recess in it for a, that's usually how a vise is made. The screw is locked in with a little set screw or something. But this vise, so while I was doing all that, I thought, well, I might as well have a look at this jaw. And I decided to take this screw out of here to see what I see behind here. Because I just assumed that hole, that mark, that big blob of weld went right through. I thought they tried to plug that hole, and so in pulling this off, I see that nothing has ever gone in there. And as a matter of fact, the back of this doesn't even have a mark on it. So this is probably original. That's probably the original piece. And it's always been like that. Probably what's happened is the screw has worn a hole in there a little bit, so they built it up with some weld. And whoever was doing the welding, he was lacking in the finesse department. But I've done stuff like that, so I shouldn't be critical. But if people were looking at my work, I wouldn't want them to see this. But anyway, and come to think of it, because this jaw can pivot on this bolt here, you can actually put in a little wedge-shaped piece, or you got a little bit of room to pivot, because you've got one pushing point, and that's right here. So I don't think this plan is a good plan, this little drawing here that I've drawn, because if it does pivot, it's going to put strain on that where it goes into the hole, and it possibly could break it right off right here, or it'll bind up somewhere here So I think this plan is out the window. But it kind of makes it simpler. Investigation and problem solving. I still have to machine down the threads so they won't hit right here. You know, I was thinking maybe, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I might grind that out or something. But I'm not going to do that. I believe whoever tapped that hole, they probably went a size or two bigger. You probably could have been a 3/8 or ½ inch at one time, and now it's, I think that's 5/8. And it came in on a bit of an angle here. You can see it's not square there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's certainly far from square. I can go get I don't know if I have a little machinist square here. I don't think I do. Let me go check and see if I do, and we'll see how far out that is. Well, I don't have a machinist square, but a carpenter square will tell you that it's out. I knew it was out by the eye, but it's out by quite a bit there. You know. So, I knew that. There's nothing I can do about that. Unless I bored it even bigger, and I don't want to do that. So. Okay, so what I'll do, I think I'll drill a hole in here. I'll machine this off. I recess a little tiny hole, not very deep. I got a whole assortment of ball bearings, old balls, little metal balls. I'll put one in there. We'll tap the metal down so that it holds it in place. And I'll try and mimic that shape in here. A little bit of a roundish hole. And not very deep either. I think it'll work its way over the years into that. And then, you know, we'll either, I'm thinking about what kind of a nut I'm going to put on here. I don't have a huge lot of selection of hex stock, or I don't have much of anything here. And until I get my collets, I don't have a lot of ability for that. But let's see what I got laying around here, and we'll try machining that down, putting that ball in there, and then see what we got. Well, here's a little positive news. I cleaned this up, the faceplate on the lathe. It was all covered in rust, so still got the original gray paint back here, probably from the early 70s. So. Way too fast. think that's my final cut there. Maybe one more finish cut. Okay, things go bad and things get worse. So I decided to start over, and using a centering drill. I had only a small one, so I thought I'd just go in there with that, do it right, cut the end off, start over again. Broke the end inside there. I was able to get it out with a dental tool. Those little dental tools. Every shop should have a set of those. I knew this was a bit small, and I just pushed it a little too hard. I should have just stopped as soon as I got the small end of it in there. And okay, let's continue. I think I work hardened it, and it wouldn't drill anymore. I should have started the way I knew I should have, and I didn't. So hindsight is 20/20. Okay, let's see how many dull drill bits I can find. This is probably what I should have done in the first place. Started like this. Centering bit, small bit, and then the finishing part. Live and let learn. Okay, we're gonna have to check that depth. Okay, we're at about just under 350. Yeah, 345 maybe. 245, sorry, 245. I want to go to about 325, 340. It's not crucial. Alright, so let's bring the bit back. And I'm going to zero this bit and go in about, let's see. Yeah. Alright, let's do it. Okay, I think we're really close. it again. Seems to be cutting there now. And I did a final check on my small bit. It may not be to the right depth. So I may go in a little deeper with the small bit. I think it's going to be fine with this one, yeah. Because I'm putting a ball in there. The big diameter doesn't have to go in as deep. And I think I'm smoking it. It's catching fire, man. I think we're there. Really close. So I might go back down to the small bit and finish up. Go a little deeper. On second thought, we are there. That is perfect. So I'm just going to take a little hammer and tap that in and rotate it a bit. That is really nice. Really nice. So I'll have to go machine this thread back a little more. I don't think I'm deep enough there now. I need to be 5/8 or more. I'd like to be more than 5/8. So I know we're at about, yeah, we're under 5/8. We're around 550, 570, yeah. This vernier caliper is, don't buy one of these. These are terrible. That's all I have here today, so I'm using it. Anyway, none of these measurements are crucial, but you can see my ball is way down deep in there. So from that point to the end of the threads, it's actually a little more. I was measuring from the wrong spot. I should be measuring from the ball. So yeah, we're there. We're 625 there. Yeah. Oh, maybe even 650. So I may not have to machine that a bit. I think I will though. I'm going to take another 1/8 of an inch there, easy, or more. I don't want the threads hitting the vise like they were. They're leaving marks on the. You can see they're digging in and leaving thread marks from the threads. So I don't want that to happen, and I can be sure it won't if I machine that down a little bit. Okay, so I'll take a hammer and I'm going to tap that in there so that ball stays in there, and if I have to, I'll machine off a little bit of that metal, but I think I'll be all right. Thread is moving in the chuck, so I'm going to do that somewhere so that the end of the thread will be against something solid. Okay, while I was setting that ball in there, I realized that I think that chuck is not centered, so I got to bring down an indicator. I'm planning on making a test bar. I don't really want to buy one. I'm trying to minimize the money I spend, but maybe I can make a test bar on my lathe at home, because I know that chuck is dead center. I've done some really precise work with it, and it's pretty bang on. But you could see the bit wobbling in that last video, that last little bit. The center bit seemed to go perfectly dead straight center, but as soon as I went up to the larger bit, it seemed to wobble. So I don't know, I'm going to have to see if I can correct that. The ball definitely is off to one side a little bit. I'll show it to you when I take it out of the chuck. So let's machine down this last little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch or more. And there, the first part of this job will be done. I got to figure out what I'm going to do on the other end of this. I think I'm going to get... I got a couple options. Okay, the idea I have for the other end of this threaded rod... Well, I got one idea here. This is not... I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think I'm going to do this. I could thread that on. I think the inner hammer and chisel mechanic is coming out of me, but I could weld it. And a large wrench would fit on there just fine. Or what I'd really like to do is you can buy those nuts that are long. I don't have any here as an example. They're extra long. They're designed, they're really kind of made to join two pieces of threaded rod together. Anyway, I have an assortment of them at my home shop. Oh, there is one. There's one here. It's a little tiny one. Okay, I do have one here. It just happens to be on the lathe of all places. So these kind of nuts. Now this is 1/4 inch. I'm looking for one with a 5/8 internal thread, which is, you can't buy that at a box store. Home Depot, or they wouldn't even have that. They only go up to 1/2 inch. I can tell you that before you even walk in the door. If you found one in there, I'd be impressed. But I know at a fastener place you can get that. You can probably get it up to 3/4, maybe even 1 inch. But anyway, I just need 5/8. And if I get a piece of that, cross drill, and set a dowel pin in there, or a tapered pin, or just you drill a hardened, a 1/4 inch hole and put a hardened bolt in, cut it off at each end, and put it in there with Loctite. So there's a couple ideas, and that would work. And I would Loctite the threads as well. Okay, so let's machine that down, finish this part up. I'm just hand feeding this little section here. I don't even know this. And then I'll do a finished cut there. Nice fine finish. We're going to see that, so I'd like it to after this. I might have to do the whole thing over again. I think we'll see change there at that point. Yeah, so I'll go right back here, and we'll do a finish pass. And I've got it set to the lowest finish on this lathe. I got it set to 0.0042, so 4.2 thousandth of an inch per revolution, which is not a very fine cut. My other lathe has got a less than half that. It'll 0.001, so it'll do a little over 1,000, 1.7 or something. But I still think this is a great lathe, and I don't have much to complain about. So. Okay, let's do it. I'm way too close here. Okay. Going. That's our okay, so that's our finish pass. And even though it's a fairly fast feed rate, I find the finish isn't too bad. Go over it with some emery cloth. Looks fine. Looks pretty good to me. Before I cut it off, I'm going to try it in that vise and see what it looks like. And you can still see a little bit of a difference there. Okay, we're there. That looks nice. Okay, I'll go try it in the vise and I'll show you. Okay, I was looking for a tap. I knew I had some dies, I mean. So I've got 3/4. and this is 1 inch fine thread, and I think this is 1/2 inch, no, 7/8. Yeah, 7/8 right there. Can you see it? Damn thing won't focus. Okay. Yeah, anyway, you get the idea. So I've got 3/4, I got 7/8, I got 1 inch, that's about it, and I've got a 1/2 inch here. And these are the, you have to have these pieces, or you have to take the die out. This is a quick, it's a very nice set. It's a hell of a nice handle. It's huge. I haven't measured the length, but this comes from a friend of mine, Benny, that got me into doing this stuff. He's the reason why I bought a lathe pretty well. So you got a guide on this side, and your die goes in this side. It's a really nice set, but very incomplete. I got more dies at home. I think with everything I have at home and these, I have a good selection. I don't have everything, but I got a good starting selection there. I got not very much metric, but I don't really want metric. Okay, so I have to chase the threads on that threaded rod. That's the reason why I was looking for this.